As we breathe this holy in-breath and out-breath, we're going to breathe the sacred sound of Om. Om beckons us. And so we breathe and say, Om. 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 And as you continue to breathe, do the Om. In fact, the Om is the breath that we are to do throughout this meditation. This meditation is using the sacred sound of Om for reason and purpose. And you will find your perfect in-breath and out-breath as you out-breath the Om and breathe in the sacred air, the life force, the very universal creation of all creations in you, through you, and around you, and breathe out the sacred Om. And as you do this, beloveds, it expands your consciousness and your awareness. This breathing in of the life force of all creation and breathing out the sacred sound of the eternal of Om. And we simply are going to do this now in whichever rhythm, in whichever way it flows for you, that it becomes one with you, your sacred sound, your sacred harmony, your unique tone that moves throughout the cosmos to the source. You, your special, one of a kind, unique sound vibration. And so we breathe out the sacred Om of creation, for we are coming into our own awareness of our own creative powers beyond the creativity of a physical, mental, and emotional world, but transcended to that, into the higher parts of ourselves, to the higher garments and expressions of ourselves, to our higher self and our overselves, to the divine sacred monad and beyond that. And as we breathe this in-breath and out-breath of the sacred Om, as your tone is identified as it moves throughout all eternity, as you now, beloveds, integrate with all creations in cosmic consciousness. Yes. It is this time of the great awakening, the great expansion of what, who, and what you are a part of, beloveds. So sacred and so precious you are. And we bring you on your continued journey upon your path of light, established long ago, to bring you forth not only in your continued evolution as a source soul of all creations, but to also complete your sacred missions, your purpose, your reason of being in this experience now, in this eternal moment, in this sacred now. So you breathe this sacred in breath and out breath, the Om, connecting you into the cosmic waters of limitlessness and great eternality of what you are in this remembering as you move through the sound waves of cosmic consciousness, of creation, of the source of that moment of the in-breath and out-breath of which you were formed. And as you begin to feel its power over you, as it reignites the dormant areas of your consciousness to activate and respond to the creational process of which you are a part, of that part of you that holds the power of great creation as a divine and sacred co-creator of the Creator. So you continue to breathe this sacred life force, and you breathe out the sacred Om of creation, weaving now a sacred, interconnected expansiveness of yourself and of all life. And as you do this, begin to see in your spiritual eye the myriads and myriads of radiant ones on all dimensions of all realms. The great family of light, boundless and eternal, ancient and wise, past and present and future. Breathe the divine sacred life force deep within you and out breath the sacred Om of creation, where you develop now in this moment an integration of expansiveness into the flow of what and who you are, transcendent of a physical, mental, and emotional world. And so it is this part of you that seeks to become more anchored in your day-to-day life as you walk your path of light, as you walk those mystics in the path and the future, those wizards and those prophets who will integrate the higher aspects of creation with the creation they found themselves in, knowing their sacred purpose, knowing their power of creators and creation. So breathe, beloveds, the sacred in-breath and out-breath, the sacred Om of creation. Build this dynamic, blessed energetic, this expansiveness of yourself as it begins to expand and flow and integrate into your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. As it weaves together the higher levels of yourself, integrate and process into your physical, mental, and emotional beingness as you walk a material world. For your path of radiant light is needed now to show the way for so many as you walk in the footsteps of those before you, to show the way, to show the way, to show the way. And dearly beloveds, see in your spiritual eye as the myriads of the radiant ones hold this sacred space and platform for you, as it is their great honor and purpose to do so. Connect with them and feel their presence and love that pours in as you pull forth all aspects of creation to you, as you experience the vibrations of this love that is boundless, as you reach higher for the radiant light of the source of all. And as you do this, you breathe in the highest creation of light and unconditional love, transcended of all distortions and miscreations, transcendent of all gravitational influences, but now soaring into the higher levels of the upper worlds, receiving divine codes and grace and reactivation. As we, your family of light, hold this for you, honor you, and respect you, feel and sense and know the energy that comes to you now in a spiral form, coming from the highest celestial realms of light. A spiraling now comes through the sacred dimensions into the ethers, coming into the gravitational pull of the earth, moving into this unity and binding of hearts and minds together, moving through the great monadic realms, moving into the tribes of light, moving into this moment, this eternal now, as all creation reaches out to touch you, to bring you into your divine remembrance, to activate those transcended parts of yourself, integrating into your physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Beloveds, for the time has come into your expansiveness of consciousness, working into the multi layers of yourself and that of the sacred earth. Your range of frequency now expanded, now anchored and more stable. As you breathe in the sacred life force, breathe out the Om of creation, expanding yourself throughout all creations, expanding yourself to your source, bringing in and integrating those parts of yourself that you are now ready to embrace and hold, integrate and process as you walk a physical, mental, and emotional material world. Yes. And in this grand interweaving of the creations, you bring to you that closer and more anchored to you and tethered all those who love and support you. Love and support you, beloveds. Love and support you. That you are never alone. And what you come across and challenged of, you do not do by yourself. For you have the creation within and around you to bring in those tools of light, those radiant ones of light, the higher parts of yourself of light, to be in that moment that you can move fearlessly upon your path. For there is the deepest knowing when you are expansive in your awareness of your connection to all creation. And in this grand and great remembrance, you hold much power. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. The power to be the light and show the way. And this spiral continues, and as it does, surrounding you, moving within you and around you, and expanding into the boundlessness that it is. You are integrated and in its very essence. And you now receive through the love that pours in, the divine codes and the reckoning of who you are in the most ancient of days, beloveds. Breathe in the life force and exhale the Om of creation. Allow yourself to expand in all ways as you feel the energetics move in and through you, expanding you. And as much as we would want to stay in this experience, as much as we want to stay into this grace and this blessing, as hard as it may be, to bring our attention back into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. We know that we must, as we have work to do. We, these few moments now, just become so mindful of this experience and intend for it to be continued, integrated, and processed into your physical, mental, and emotional bodies as you walk this physical world. We make note of the energy that has flowed in, through, and around us, and will continue to do so for the hours and days to come, and do its work within our dream state in its full completion. We intend to remember this before we fall to sleep, to give it that much more power in our consciousness. And so now the thought of the return comes, and as that, this spiraling begins to slow down in its intensity and in its expansiveness, and begins to flow back up to its source. We begin now just to breathe our regular breath in and out. And we cease now the Om out breath of creation. For the divine and sacred codes are already established in the deepest parts of ourselves and the most expansive parts of ourselves. The integration and the process will continue. And we now begin to draw in our electromagnetic field, for we sense that there are those myriad ones of this experience begins to draw in their electromagnetic field from all dimensions and realms and expressions. And with each breath we take now, we will intend to be back awake and alert and very grounded to our sacred earth. And on the count of 3, we will be fully back, awake and alert from this experience that will continue on subtle forms. 1, 2, take a very deep breath in, and 3, we are back. We are awake. We are alert. And we are grounded to the earth.